Hey guys, how's it going? Good to see everybody tonight. Hope everybody's having a really good night. I've been having a very good day, and I'm excited to be hanging out here with you again tonight. I'm seeing the chat fill up, so this is definitely exciting. And yeah, I'm going to be hanging out here for a good while, and I'm looking forward to taking your questions. And I gotta mute this. Hang on. And yeah, let's get into it. I had a couple things I wanted to talk about first before we start to hit the Q&A side of things. You guys had a whole bunch of questions that you pre-submitted in our community tab. There were a whole bunch of folks who are our Patreon supporters who had some great questions as well. And, you know, really, I want to be able to kind of hit as much of this as I can. There was a lot of stuff, but we're going to do our best here tonight. I'm here hanging out. Lil Barn Cat is also with me. She's on the other side of my office, but I'm sure she'll come around if I give her a treat. So let's get Lil Barn Cat over here. Lil, come here. Yeah, come here, sweetie. So these salmon sticks are like her favorite treat on the face of the earth, and I bet she's gonna want one. Come here, Lil. Yeah, this is for you. Watch, here she comes. Say hi to the people on the YouTubes. Yeah. She likes to like eat these like a cigar. Watch. Yeah, those are her favorite. So yes, Lil Barn Cat is hanging out with me. She's been doing great. She is like my constant companion here, hanging out in the house. I see a whole bunch of folks in here. This is awesome. I see one of our moderators, Kira from Homestead Dreaming here. Thanks for coming in, Kira. I see Carrie from Built on a Rock. I see Hope Wilson, who actually won the goose eggs in our last live stream. And so, yeah, there's a great crew here. And ooh, Nochi, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate that. That's very cool. You'll be playing Minecraft and watching this. I'm curious, Nochi, what are you going to be building? And thank you for that super chat. But yeah, so let me get into the farm updates first before I get too distracted. So first off, what is going on? Number one, I am, we are in full on like farm, like spring is here mode. Everything is popping. There's all sorts of good stuff going on. There's just like, the snow is melted at this point. I got to admit, guys, the weather has been kind of unpredictable, but the last couple of days have been beautiful. Like I think it got up to be about 65 here today. You're going to see in our videos that come out over the next week or so, I'm about a week behind on my editing. So like you'll see there's like still snow on the ground, but then if you watch our TikTok, you won't see snow on the ground and it'll look a little confusing, but hey, it is what it is. So yes, and to Freedom Foods Farm is asking, should he be worried if he's not hearing any peeping 34 days in and candles look great? I would be worried, to be honest, bud, because I just actually set our goose eggs in for incubation right now, and I'm planning for actually 30 days from today. So there's a very good chance that I might do our next live stream in the room where I have the incubator. And you might be actually seeing baby birds hatching, or at least, probably day or two old birds. I tried to time it just right for you guys. So, yeah, I would be concerned, though, with that if that's the case. But, yeah, we got goose eggs in the incubator. I've got about 50 of them in there right now. I actually just completed a new build project that I'll put a video out next week all about, where I built a new dog house and a cat house. So it's a 2-story house for Toby and Pablo, and I just finished building that this past weekend. I'm getting ready to work with my buddy Alfred to start building the hoop house, which is going to be the winter housing for the geese and chickens, as well as a place where I'm going to start to grow food for the animals. And so, yeah, there's going to be a lot happening here. Other questions that you guys had that I want to hit. Hold on, let me just look at my list. Sorry. This is where I kind of wish I had like a co-host. I might like try to do that. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think. If you think I should get a co-host of some sort other than Lil Barn Cat, let me know. And folks wanted to know about new merch. So yes, this is the other exciting news I have. We have new merch coming. So I just got a shipment of some stuff today. So we've got new mugs, and it's got a new Release the Quacken design. This Release the Quacken design is also going to be featured on some shirts. I also have Release the Quacken. Wait for it. Stickers. Yeah, upside down. There you go. I'm really excited about that. And and so that's going to be fun. And then, finally, we got these actually really cool tumblers. I actually put my tea in it for the night in these tumblers too. And they're like really high quality. They're etched in. I'm really pleased with how these came out. So all the new stuff, you'll actually start seeing it pop up on the store starting tomorrow morning. So, and the first wave of stuff is going to be Release the Quacken. Second wave is going to be Toby. Third wave is going to be ducks. Fourth wave is going to be barn cats. So there's just going to be all new stuff coming very soon. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm excited for it. All right. I can see so many questions brimming in here. I'm going to start hitting some of them right now. Okay. What questions do you have? Mr. Gold, do you have any tips for a first-time duck hatcher? I found an egg that has a duckling gosling in it. I'm curious. Oh, wait. Hey, Nachi, thank you. You just started building a tractor? That's awesome. So to Brooke Tilley, I'll just say I'm curious to hear how you found the duckling gosling. Was it like just out somewhere? Did you get it from somebody? But in terms of tips that I would give you, I think, by the way, thank you, The Simple Homesteader, for that super chat. I appreciate it. I think probably the thing I would recommend is, it's going to be 28 days for hatching a duckling. You've got it in the incubator. Try to, make sure you're rotating it 3 times a day at least. Make sure you keep your humidity between 50 and 60%. Make sure you keep your temperature between 99.3 and like 99.6. And give it, about 28, 29 days. And by that point, you should be getting some little baby ducklings or goslings. You should also know what type of egg you have, because the gosling will be 30 days. Hey, North Star Prep Setter. Good to see you, friend. Hi, what would you say the easiest, cleanest feed for ducks and chickens is? Easiest and cleanest. What we do here on the farm is we give organic layer pellets to all of our ducks and geese and chickens. I will also supplement that with scratch grains and corn. And I will also, go in and, for the babies, I'll give them brewer's yeast. And then I also like to mix in some greens here and there just so that they can have some fun. Thank you, Green Family Homestead. I really appreciate the super chat. I'm glad that helped, that tip about the chestnuts. So Muhammad's asking, is there any new Gold Stuff merch? Yeah, so like I said, yes, we have new merch. It is going to be available as of tomorrow morning. So I'm really excited about that. So you'll see it. If you want to go to it, I'm going to leave a link to our store right here. When you refresh this link for tomorrow, you'll see that. And yes, Kathy, I would love to make you a mod. Hang on a sec. Let me see if I can figure out how to do that while I'm doing all this other stuff. Sorry, guys. This is the tough part of doing this all solo. I'm trying to find Kathy here. How do I make Kathy a mod? Whoa. Wow. Hobo Barn Cat update. Yeah, so here's your Hobo Barn Cat update. He has not been around for a while. I am pretty sure that he is basically gone on to live at another place. I actually know of, and I'll put a video out about this very soon, know of another place that he went. I don't want to spoil the video, but he's around, but I'm pretty sure he's okay. Jokey Joe is asking, did I have any update on the bees? And the answer is yes. I think we're getting the bees the end of April. The hives actually just showed up. I've got to assemble them and I've got to do some work to get them ready. But I'm really excited for that. I've been studying up. Actually, I've been watching a lot of bee videos. My friend Kaylee over at the Homestead, she's been like my bee mentor. She's been super helpful. And so she's been awesome. And so I'm getting ready. I would say expect some video updates on the bees by like early May. You'll see probably a video of me picking them up and doing the whole getting it set up. So Ken C is asking, is the pond a success? What was that? And I would say that the pond is a too soon to tell. In that, just that we have everything filled now. You'll see actually a video. I guess it'll come out on Monday where I'm like bemoaning the fact that it doesn't seem filled. But at this point, everything got filled up. Uh-oh, what's the little barn cat doing? Lil, what are you doing? Uh-oh, little barn cat's getting into trouble. I might have to let her go. But so I'm sorry. My ADHD gets like slammed in these things. Hey, pretty per the pet goose. Thank you for the super chat. I don't think I will ever get legal Canada geeses. I think the closest I might ever come to Canada geeses is having some Canada geeses end up stopping by the farm and mixing in with a few of my other birds, and maybe that would be what happens. Okay, this is a good one from Raffi, and I might make a whole video on this topic. So I have never given Toby a bath, ever. Like, never, ever. He's never needed it. From everything I've read about it, I think like it actually is something that he doesn't need. And so he just naturally stays clean. I brush him every week or two. When he's shedding, I'll brush him more frequently, and I'll basically, I have to pick out burdock. That's like the worst maintenance chore for Toby. But other than that, no bathing necessary. Brian Wood, thank you for that super chat, and I'm excited to meet you at Homesteaders of America. And guys, I don't know if you saw the news about this, but I'm really excited. I'm going to be speaking at the Homesteaders of America conference. I think it's October 8th and 9th in Virginia. It's in it's about an hour outside of Washington, D.C. I forget the name of the town, but just look up Homesteaders of America. I'm going to be giving a whole talk about geese and like the best things you can do to raise geese. And really, honestly, I'm so excited about it. Last time I went to Homesteaders of America was 2 years ago, and it was so much fun to hang out with everybody and spend time with friends and, just all the, I don't know what they call it, fellowship. It was awesome, and I really enjoyed it. And, Kathy, thank you for dropping that Homesteaders of America link in there. Yeah, it's in Front Royal, Virginia. That's right. It's been way too long that I've been able to see people and hang out. I'm excited. I'm actually getting vaccinated in a couple of weeks. Where I live, they just opened it up for people in my age group. And so I'm going to be getting the vaccine soon. By that point comes, I'm going to be ready to go. I'm excited to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm seeing a couple of questions about how old is my oldest animal? Like Derp King is asking that. Well, Derp King, the oldest animal on our farm is Pablo Barn Cat, and I believe he is 7 years old at this point. And so he is the oldest animal we have on the farm. I think Bruce the Goose would be the second oldest animal. Oh, hey, Tomas, thank you. You should come to Iceland and watch the puffins fly to the city. I would love to go to Iceland. Iceland is one of those places that's definitely on my bucket list. Hey, what's going on, Jack? And so I would really love to go there. And thank you for that super chat, Tomas. So my friends, the Naked Gardeners, are asking, how did I come up with the design for our orchard? So the design of our orchard was based on a couple of things. One piece of it is a guy by the name of Stefan Subkowiak. He is an orchardist in just outside of Montreal. Really smart guy. He has a sort of design system called Permaculture Orchard. And so a lot of it was based on what he's done. Then I think the other piece is that he is, you know, like that he like espouses like mixing up your planting. And so that's been one part of it. The other part of it was really me just wanting to have as much swale and berm. And then another part of it was really me thinking about like our farm specifically and how it's designed and like making sure that I could like capture water the best I could and use the hill space the best I could. Simple Homesteader, thank you for the super chat. I goofed earlier and forgot to type the message. Do you plan on adding any other birds to your farm, such as turkeys, guinea fowl, quail, peafowl? Not necessarily now, but ever. Yeah, I would say that in the future, I do plan on adding some turkeys. I think turkeys I would really like to have. Guinea fowl I could see possibly having. I don't anticipate having quail. I just don't like raising birds in cages like that. And I don't anticipate having any peafowl. So 2 out of those 3 potentially. Not this year, though, for sure. And we'll go from there. Jonathan Garside is asking, when am I getting cows? So, Jonathan, there's a video that's going to come out tomorrow. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. You should watch that video, and you'll get the latest update on the cows. I'm not going to talk about it tonight because I feel like it's a very good video, and I don't want to ruin it. So, yeah. How many eggs can a Pomeranian goose manage to sit on? That will be interesting. I think I wouldn't want to put more than 10 eggs under a breed like a Pomeranian or anything like that. So I would say, yeah, keep it at 10, like maybe 8 would probably be ideal. I did 12 last year under Pilgrim Goose, and that was far too many. Thank you, Mackenzie Van Dorp, sorry, for that super chat. So, do I have any tips for first-time duck owners? Yes. So, a couple of tips for first-time duck owners, and I actually made a whole video about this. But I would say number one, I would say that you really want to think about making sure you have a good water management system. Ducklings are messy as all get out, especially because of what they will do with all that water. And so you got to really think about how do you keep their bedding clean and how do you keep your bedding fresh? That'll keep them from getting sick. Number 2, make sure you're supplementing your young birds with niacin, especially in like weeks 2, 3, 4. That's a big deal for actually keeping them healthy as well and making sure they have good leg development. So that's another one. And then number 3, make sure you're handling them and spending time with them. If you don't spend enough time with your birds, you're going to find that they don't want to spend time with you as they get older. I guess it's a lot like kids. So, definitely keep that in mind as well. We got a couple super chats coming in here. Hey, Anthony, have you been thinking about getting Muscovies? I've thought about getting Muscovies. I just have had so much other stuff going on this year. Adding another flock of ducks didn't make sense, but I will be getting runner ducks later this year. So they will be mixing in with the quacken. And so there will be runner ducks coming, but I don't have any plans to get Muscovies, at least not anytime soon. All right. And then Mossland Motor Club is asking, hey, Morgan, want to have goats in the future further or other 4-legged animals beside the cows? Greetings from the Netherlands. Thank you for the content. Thank you for staying up so late. By the way, I want to just say shout out and thank you to all European viewers who are hanging out here tonight and stayed up to do this. I feel bad that I always do this so late. Unfortunately, like my work schedule keeps me from being able to do this at like, say, 3 o'clock in the afternoon at a time when a lot of folks could get there. And so I'm sorry I do these so late. I really appreciate it that you show up, and I really appreciate the super chat. In terms of your question, I don't think I'll ever get goats. I could see getting sheep in the future. I definitely want to get pigs in the future. Yeah, so those would be the 4-legged animals I'd be thinking about the most. And then I always have this stupid dream of having a donkey. My Drake is trying to mate with my chickens. What should I do? I would make sure you have female hen ducks around because that's what he's looking for. Yeah, those Drakes, they can get randy. Hey, Farmer Brad, what's going on, buddy? There's another question from Danilo. Will there be a night with Toby Dog? I missed that video so much. Yeah, you know what? As the weather's warming up, there will be. The other thing, and I think I mentioned this a little earlier in the live chat, Toby Dog has a new house. So over the weekend, I completed a construction project building a new doghouse for Toby. The video will probably be up at some point next week. I just need time to sit down and edit it. And really, I'm excited to show it to you because it's a very cool design. It's 2 stories, and it's actually got room for Toby, the new puppy, and Pablo Barn Cat, like all in the same building. And so I might try to do a night where I camp out with all of them out in that house. I just don't think I will do it when it's this cold. I don't know. I guess tonight wouldn't be that bad because it's only getting down to about 35. But once it warms up a little bit more, I will definitely do a sort of another night with Toby video. That was a lot of fun to make. I enjoy just spending the time with him and the animals outside. And so I do want to make that in the future. You know the missing cat sign in the post office? Well, did I call them about Hobo Cat? Okay, Diana, I don't want to spoil another video, so I'm not going to tell you about this. This is really tough. My sort of, I've got all these continuity errors for you guys. There will be a video out early next week talking all about that one. Hey, Morgan, do you know what breed of duck goes broody the most for hatching eggs? I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm trying to think who's the broodiest duck. It's a good question. Probably Muscovies. Actually, yeah, as I'm thinking about, definitely the Muscovy. Muscovy is the broodiest duck, even though they're not like a traditional kind of mallard style duck. If you want a duck that sits on eggs, the Muscovy's the one. The other thing, and I'll actually give something away to you guys here for hanging out in the live chat tonight. I just started an experiment this morning where I have about 8 duck eggs or 9 duck eggs sitting underneath one of my really broody geese. And so I'm going to see if I can convince her to hatch it out. So I'm going to have a goose that's hatching ducks. So that will be a fun experiment. Hey, Kaleo, what's up, buddy? How's it going, man? Good to see you. Hey, Mallory. Stoked beef. Not saying you should know, but how do you think Toby Dog would react to coming inside your house? You know, lots of people have been asking me this question. Like, what would he do if I brought him inside the house? I don't know. I think he'd be kind of stressed out by it, to be honest. He's used to open spaces. He hates going, like, the only time I think I've ever taken him indoors somewhere is when I've taken him to the vet, and he does not like that at all. So I don't think he'd be all that pleased if I brought him inside and had him inside. Okay, what other questions I have? Oh, hey, thank you for the super chat, artist Yvonne. Hi, Morgan. I live in an apartment in the outskirts of the city, but have a medium yard. I'd love to raise a chicken. Bad idea. I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. So I guess it sort of depends on a couple of things. You have a yard, so that's good. If you could put in like a chicken coop of some sort, I think that would work well. You'd want to have like a coop and like a little run. I don't know if you have like a fenced in backyard. But if I were, living in sort of a more urban context, and I actually thought a lot about this when I was living in Washington, D.C., and I lived in a row house, and I had a backyard. I thought about getting chickens, but there were like all these crazy zoning things that I just didn't want to get caught up into it. And by the time I was like, yes, I want chickens, I was actually in the process of buying the farm, and then I didn't want to have to go back and forth, around that. And so I think it could be a good idea. I think you just would really want to think about your coop. I think you would need to have more than one chicken. I think you'd want 2, maybe 3 chickens. I think a kind of calmer, more docile bird, like say a cochin or like a silky, I think could actually be really good for that. And so, yeah, that would be what I would recommend for you. That's my idea. Okay, Bill Gould is asking, what, in your opinion, is the best brand of incubator for hatching large quantities of poultry? So I actually spent a lot of time researching this one recently, and basically here's what I have found. I preferred, as I looked at all the designs and talked to a bunch of people, and I ended up buying. I ended up getting a Brinzy. They're like this British company. And so I got a Brinzy incubator, It's pretty good size. It's the 380 one, so it does, I think, 380 chicken eggs. And so that's what I preferred. That's what I liked after doing a bunch of research. Thank you again, Dina Alderson. Hey, Morgan, you're going to have flower patches for the bees? I don't think I'm going to have Allison's definitely planting flowers in her garden. So that's going to happen. So I guess there will be some flower patches. The bigger thing is we have a lot of pasture that I let grow up. And so we have a lot of wildflowers that grow in there. And then when it comes to the trees, a lot of them are getting sort of a whole bunch of different blossoms. And so that's actually the main reason I want to get the bees. And so that's the plan. But I don't know. I might try to do some sunflowers or something fun like that too. I saw another super chat come in here. Hey, Andrew, thank you. Andrew asks, we love your videos and love Toady Dog. Do you have a name in mind for the new puppy? I don't know. I'm still thinking. I got a couple dog names on my mind. I think one of them is Abby. So I always really like that name. So like Abby could be a good option for the puppy. I don't know. Other names, I'm open to suggestions, really. I think it'll really take us finally meeting the dog and kind of seeing her personality to see what the match would be. But, Allison's got some ideas too. Okay, Brooke is asking, how do you get your outdoor cats used to a duck or goose? Not meant to be aggressive. The moderator said to put questions in all caps. No, it's all good. Yeah, and by the way, guys, as Kathy's saying, put your questions in caps, and if you tag me, it makes it easier for me to see. The chat still goes so quick, and I am so ADHD bad when it comes to some of this stuff. It's hard. Call my puppy Moby. I love that. But Brooke, to answer your question, I think it's just sort of making sure they get used to them at a larger size. So, for example, Pablo Barn Cat, I would not want him to be around unsupervised with like our ducklings, for example, because he would snack on them. No question about it. The ducks, though, are big enough for him to be like, I don't think I want to tangle with it. And so I don't know if your cat is attacking the ducks or just watching the ducks. Pablo watches the ducks for sure. And so I think you just have to kind of watch carefully the behavior. And then, actually the method that I would suggest if he is really trying to attack would be a squirt gun. So every time you see him stalking, hit him with the super soaker. And that would probably ultimately teach him, after a little patience and persistence, to oh shoot, I missed Peyton's super chat question. Oh, Peyton, can you re-put your question? It went so quick I missed it. Sorry, buddy. Choco Cake Bug, thank you. Have you considered getting Indian runner ducks? Yes, I am actually getting about a dozen Indian runner ducks later this year. So I think around July, we're going to be getting some Indian runner ducks. Wait, hold on. I got to keep watching the chat here for Peyton's question. Wow, we got 1,000 people here. That's crazy. Yeah, so Peyton, if you just put your question in the chat, I'll do my best to answer it, bud. All right, William Dow is asking, how many ducks and geese do you want to have this spring, summer? So my plan would be to probably get up to about 50 ducks at my peak and about 150 geese. That's ambitious. I'm worried I might not make it on the geese front. The duck front, I'm pretty confident I'll get there. And so it's going to be a race against time this spring to find if I can get it there. But yeah, 150 geese, 50-ish ducks or so. I will pet Toby Dog for you. So the warp drive, I have considered getting Dutch hookbills. They're just so hard. They're just really hard to track down. Reposting I'm not Peyton. How has YouTube affected your day-to-day life? Are you surprised by the growth? It's been pretty amazing on some fronts. I think I've been able to do a lot of things around the farm with, the dollars that come in from generous folks who are doing super chats tonight. And so for example, when I had to get lumber or the money to buy the new incubator, that came from frankly, YouTube money. And so that's made a huge difference. I wouldn't be able to do some of the things I'm doing right now around the farm if it wasn't for that. I think the second thing is in terms of the like, how do I put this? Like the sort of all the stuff that it brings, it does make things a little bit crazier. And so that's been tough. But at the same time, I have really enjoyed doing it. I enjoy the creative aspect of YouTube and like telling stories and videos. It's like one of my favorite things to do other than just working around the farm. And so I think I kind of like all of that. So I guess those would be the answer to your question. And again, I'm looking here. I'm still not seeing Peyton's question. So if anybody else is seeing it, please let me know. I don't want to hose my buddy Peyton here. All right. Oh, okay. Thank you, Kara. Okay, Peyton wants a Tractor Supply update. And I've seen a couple people ask Tractor Supply updates. So let me give sort of an update here. So, like I posted in the last video, Tractor Supply has, kind of very much committed to, having regular checks of their birds, making sure employees are properly trained. They haven't necessarily followed up with me because I've actually sent them a couple other questions this week and they haven't responded. You guys have been awesome. I have received probably about 150 photos and updates from different stores around the country. Some of them good, some of them really not good. And so right now I'm actually working really hard to try to connect with the Tractor Supply team again and talk to them about some of the things that I've been seeing. And so once I get in touch with them and have a conversation, I will definitely put up an update video. But right now, like, I don't know, they're being weird. They're like radio silent. So we'll see. And then thank you for the question, Peyton. Am I planning to use the barn roof material? Might be useful for hugelkultur. So the barn roof actually isn't wood. So our barn roof is like steel. Like it was replaced, my guess is like in the late 50s, early 60s. And so 1950s, 1960s. And so it's not a wooden roof. So you don't want to bury that. I actually have been using some of the barn wood for some various building projects though. So, oh, hey, Colin, thank you so much. Colin and Lauren, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. And again, it's like that type of generosity. That's like, okay, now we can, afford to do some other things around the farm. So it's really appreciated. Okay, MT, thanks for your vids. I'm getting silver apple yard ducks and Pomeranian geese for the farm this year, largely because of your videos. Oh, that's awesome. That's great to hear. So I think I might have gotten sidetracked when I was answering the question about the hookbills. So the reason I'm not getting hookbills, two reasons. One, they're like wicked expensive. And I get that they're a rare breed and it's good to conserve rare breeds. But even if I introduced hookbills into my farm, they'd interbreed with the other ducks. And so I wouldn't necessarily be preserving that pure lineage. And then two, yeah, they're flighted birds. And so, like mandarins or hookbills, because they could fly away, like I'm just very reluctant to want to do that. And so that's why I actually ran with the Indian runners, because, they're actually perfect for the context that I'm raising my birds in. And, good insect ducks. They are, good, pretty agile. They don't get eaten by like hawks as easily. And so that's where I'm landing. Oh, Misty, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. Mama Z's Texas Kitchen. By the way, guys, if you are into cooking videos, you should check out Misty's channel, Mama Z's Texas Kitchen. It's good stuff. Moo Moo Beef. That's a great name. Any advice to someone coming out of high school who wants to have a homestead? I think if I was just coming out of high school and I wanted to have a homestead, I would probably travel first. So I would actually, if I was like fresh out of high school and I knew I wanted a homestead, I would do like a year or two of kind of traveling around, going to different farms, maybe woofing, which is like this program that lets you go and work on different farms, learning from other people. Because I think, taking the time to get that education, I think there's a lot of value in it. And in doing that traveling around, you're going to get a sense of what you like and what you don't like, where you want to live, where you don't want to live. And so if I was like 18 and graduating in June and getting ready to like figure out what I wanted to do, that's probably what I would do. I wouldn't go to college if I knew I wanted a homestead, or at least I would take time off and think about it before I tried to go into college, because, look, you're taking on a lot of debt. You don't know what you want to do, or you want to do something that doesn't really require a degree. So I think it doesn't make sense to go right to college. And so that would be my thinking. I would go somewhere, I would intern at farms, I would learn from other people, I'd develop some skills. And then once you've done that for a little while and you've built up that experience, that's when I would dive in and actually go somewhere. Oh, hey, thank you, Amy B, by the way, for that super chat. I just saw that come in as well. Thank you for the puppy chow. The dogs really appreciate it. Okay. Any advice on movie G with a pet goose moving across state lines, crate size, metal or plastic, other advice? So if I was getting a crate to move a goose, I think I would do something that's like a plastic crate that's enclosed. You don't want them to have too much space because they can flap around and hurt themselves. I don't know how far you're moving and how long your drive is, but I would try to minimize it as much as possible, or at least give the goose some opportunities to get out too. Yeah, that would be my suggestion. Captain Elijah, would I be willing to contact law enforcement if I saw animal cruelty? Yes, I would, definitely. I mean, like, flat out animal cruelty for sure. I would definitely. What's my favorite book on the bookshelf? That's a hard one, Bilal. Let me look and see if I could pick one out that strikes my fancy right now. Here's one. I love it. It's one of my favorite all-time books. It's a great read. It is, and actually, this goes to the young person who asked the question about, if you were young and you wanted a homestead. On the Road. On the Road is like the book that when I read it when I was 13, I actually left the house and did a little, like, wanted to go hitchhiking, like, kind of thing. It was such a cool book. I loved it. I still love it. I reread it every so often. So that's one of my favorites. It's not my only favorite, but it's definitely up there in terms of books that I love. On the Road by Jack Kerouac. Okay, the Creek Kid. This is a good one. How much money do you spend each month on supplies and food for the birds in the farm? Let me do some math here. Hang on a second. And actually, it varies. So I'm going to give you the winter number. The summer number is a little different on a couple of fronts. So the winter number, I would say I am spending about $50-ish, $75, somewhere in that neighborhood to feed all the birds. So that would be the number I'd give you there. In the summer months, it's probably a little higher just because I got a lot of baby birds and a lot of grower food that I spend money on. But then actually, eventually the what you would call it, the like cost of raising the geese goes down because then they just start chowing on grass, and that's great. Thank you, Rainbow. I really appreciate that. The book I bought to learn more about homesteading is John Seymour, The Self-Sufficient Life. Yes, that is a good one. Other good homesteading books I would recommend. I forget the name of it, but there's a book by a guy by the name of Ben Falk, and he's actually up here in Vermont. I think it's called The Resilient Homestead. That's right. And he's an awesome one too. So that's a great book to read if you're looking for a good homestead book. The Dohertys, they're this couple. I think they're like in Ohio or something. I think they have the independent homestead. That's also a really good one too. Hey Rose, what's going on, my friend? Holly, I don't worry about it much. Look, I know it's a risk, so don't take any of this as me saying I don't think it's an issue or that it could happen. But I don't worry about it too much because I realize that, there's not much I can control about it. I actually want my farm to be open to nature. And so in order to do that, you have to kind of take on that risk. I try to not overpopulate my farm and like make sure that it's too bad, like your density, because the density is also a bigger disease and risk vector. Ooh, hey. Thank you, Rianu Keeves. Is Toby getting a friend doggo to help him out? Yes, I am excited about this. It should be this summer. I'm hoping. I'm waiting to get some word on this. Actually, right now, I'm really hoping that a puppy shows up. So the plan has been, for those of you guys not familiar with this, I want to add a second dog. I didn't get a second dog right when I got Toby because I wanted to take at least a full year of training him, working with him, making sure he knew exactly what he needed to do to be the best possible guard dog. And so I've gotten through that period now. And so I'm working with the same breeder that I got Toby from. The dog that we're going to be adding is actually going to be Toby's niece. And I'm really excited to add her into the mix. I'm just waiting actually for confirmation from the breeder that the dog got pregnant. So that's like the biggest thing I'm waiting on right now. But then once that happens, yeah, we'll be getting her. It'll be a female. They won't be breeding together because obviously they're related. Toby's going to be getting neutered, right before the puppy gets there. I want to keep giving him as much time as possible prior to that so that he can grow and get to be a bigger pup. And so, yeah, the plan is, though, we will be adding this year a new puppy. Oh, just a fellow idiot. I appreciate that. Everybody loves free money. So thank you. That's very nice of you. Oh, Nicole, that's awesome. An urban agriculture. You started urban agriculture. Is that a class that they're teaching? Because that sounds awesome. So yeah, very cool. Does clipping hurt the birds? And how would you recommend tagging if you release it? Well, so a couple things. If you're just clipping their wings and you're just clipping their flight feathers for ducks and geese and geese and chickens, as long as you're just clipping the flight feathers and you're not getting into the other inner feathers, so the bigger, longer ones on the outer edge, you won't hurt them. It's going to be fine. I'd recommend only cutting one wing so that it actually keeps them from flying longer. If you cut both of them, the wings will grow back at the same time and they'll be able to fly sooner. And then in terms of tagging a bird, probably the recommendation I would have is they sell these like little plastic leg clip-on dealies. And so I would put like one of those on. You can have like a unique number. You can like etch like words or other things into it. And so that would be my suggestion. What other channel creators inspire you? I'm a huge fan of Casey Neistat. I've always really enjoyed his videos. I think he's a phenomenal storyteller. I think as I think about the videos I try to create, like he's like definitely a role model for me. I really enjoy Mark Rober. I think he's also a great creator, just really smart guy. Another guy who really gets how to tell a good story. Justin Rhodes, he was actually one of the people who was sort of watching his videos while I was sitting on the couch in Washington, D.C. that got kind of wheels in motion and turning in my brain and getting me motivated. So, yeah, he'd be another one. Ooh, hold on. Hey, Jordan, thank you for that. I have a fertilized egg, half an incubator, half under the hen. Is it wise to return the incubator eggs once hatched? It's risky, but it could work. So if you get in there as the other ones are hatching, the mama's not going to necessarily reject it. You'd want to watch very carefully that first couple of hours to see if she takes them in or not. But you could give it a shot. What are some of the tools you use a lot around the farm? That's a good question. The tool I use the most around the farm, and the tool that if I was stranded on a desert island, I would say I would need probably above all else, would be the humble 5-gallon bucket. I spend a lot of time using those for all sorts of things, carrying feed, carrying water, projects, built a whole bunch of things that I sprout chestnut trees in them. They're great. They're versatile. So I use them, but I don't think that's what you're talking about. I have a set of cordless tools. They're all like DeWalt tools Those I use all the time. So like my drill, my driver, my circular saw are like clutch, and I couldn't do a lot of stuff that I do without them. So that's definitely for sure. Oh, Naslis, thank you for the super chat. What are your thoughts on a transition to food self-sufficiency in New England? Is the vision presented by Food Solutions New England realistic? Well, Naslis, I'm not sure I'm familiar with Food Solutions New England. In terms of, to like, and I guess there's two ways to think about this. For somebody to be in New England and try to personally be food self-sufficient, I think it's challenging, but definitely very possible. For the region of New England to become self-sufficient, I think that's actually a steeper task for a couple of reasons. And Vermont doesn't fall into this category, but the rest of New England does. Relatively speaking, we're very population dense, and we have a shorter growing season than a lot of other parts of the country. And we don't have as much land available for agriculture. And so it's not that you couldn't figure out ways to do it in like high density growing situations, but a lot of like food staples would be very hard to produce at scale for the full population of New England. So I think the idea of being of the region of New England being completely self-sufficient from a food standpoint is hard to imagine working. But great question, Naslis. Okay, what other question? Oh, just a fellow idiot with another question. Thank you, by the way. I feel bad calling you that, but that is your name, so I'm just being respectful. Just curious, what is your most profitable source that comes from the farm? Also, no throwing too much money around, but I don't know, just cause. I mean, if I'm going to be totally honest, like YouTube's probably the biggest source of income for the farm. So like YouTube related stuff, especially since we started doing some of the sponsorship things to help pay for some of the projects this year. That's definitely brought revenue to the farm. As far as like the farm operation itself goes, I gotta say, I've been like doing so good these last 2 months with hatching eggs. And again, if you guys want to buy hatching eggs, we're pretty much sold out for the year with geese, but we do have a lot more duck hatching eggs available. They're for sale. That's been a great business for us. It's relatively low work. It's a lot of fun to deal with the birds. So I love doing that. So hatching eggs, I think, would be the one big profitable one. And then the other thing is raising geese for meat. And so those two things are the two biggest sources of farm revenue that we have. But great question, just a fellow idiot, as I am also an idiot. Hey, Christina, what's going on? By the way, Christina, and I'm trying to, I sort of decipher it in Facebook. It sounds like you're through with grad school, or you're like close to through with grad school. So congratulations and thank you for the super chat. And because of Duke Silver, and I'm glad you bring this up, Christina. So there's been much discussion about this one, especially in the Goldshaw Farm Facebook group, around the name of our newest duck. So for those of you guys who aren't aware of this one, we got a duck from a friend of ours here in town. Her duck flock, most of them got killed by a wild dog, and she gave me the duck back. The duck is actually from eggs that were from our ducks here on the farm. And so we have her. She looks identical to our duck, Ron Swanson, the duck that thinks she's a goose. And so, because she's a half Khaki Campbell, half Cayuga cross, so that, similar parentage, it makes sense. I've been calling her original name was Puddles. I've been personally calling her Swan Ronson just because I thought that was funny. And so I actually put a poll in the community and asked you guys what you thought. And it was like a 2/3 majority saying that the preference was to keep it at Puddles. But then somebody the other day suggested that I call her Duke Silver. And I think that is the most genius name ever. And yeah, she's now Duke Silver. There's like no way around it. She's Duke Silver. And yeah, I'll add that in a future video. But yeah, and for those of you guys not in the Parks and Rec know, so Ron Swanson is actually a character on Parks and Rec. He's like the head of the Parks and Rec department. He's just kind of this grouchy libertarian dude, really funny character played by Nick Offerman. And he has this like secret alter ego where he's like a jazz musician who plays saxophone by the name of Duke Silver. And so that's the reference. And so I think it's awesome. Yep, it's a done deal. And so yes, Christina, that's her name now. All right, Dark Ghost. How is Hobo Barn Cat? Yeah, I know it's okay that you're asking again. A lot of people have asked this one, and I answered it at the beginning, but I'll answer it again. Hobo Barn Cat hasn't been around. Hobo Barn Cat's been a bit of a mystery. I'm going to put out a video this week, or sorry, not this week, next week, updating everybody on the status of Hobo Barn Cat. You'll find out what's going on, where he is, even at least where I think he is, and I'll give some more answers. So I don't mean to be too cryptic, but he has not been to the farm in at least a month. So Wilson, I have thought about doing that. I have very much considered it. I haven't done it yet just because I just haven't had the time to try to set it all up, but I'm very much thinking about it. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Nicole's from my home state of Connecticut. Curious where you grew up. I grew up in Marlborough, Connecticut, and Manchester, Connecticut, if you're familiar with the area. So what is the best way to protect my ducks from airborne predators when they are in the yard? That's tough because, you know, really it is the airborne predators during the day that are probably some of your biggest predator risks. You know, I think having some sort of covered enclosure is really your best bet. Not knowing what like your yard setup's like if you can like even run string across the top, because hawks really don't like that. That's a good one. The other thing you could do is, and I'm not 100% sure that this works, but a lot of people have sworn by it, is you can actually try to get black cochin chickens, and the hawks will think that they're crows or ravens and not want to mess with them. And so they'll stay away more. That's what I've heard. I'm not 100% sure that's cool. Do I plan to add a join button to your YouTube, or do I just use PayPal or Patreon? So Lisa, thank you for the super chat. And to answer your question, I don't plan on doing anything with YouTube, but I am actually planning on expanding my Patreon program really soon. I'll probably make an announcement about it. I'm probably just not quite ready yet. But yeah, we have a Patreon account. You can find a link for it in most of our videos if you want to support us that way. And it's always really appreciated. You don't have to do it. I especially know that times are really tough for a lot of folks right now. So please don't ever feel pressure for all of you guys. When you do that, though, it's really generous. But just you guys even watching our videos and sharing our videos with your friends and family, it's a huge help for us. So thank you for that. Okay, thanks for hanging out, Kathy. I really appreciate it. And yes, guys, I want to just say a big shout out and thank you to all my mods here tonight. So we've got Kathy at North Star Prepsteader. We've got Jack at the Mindful Homestead. We've got Mallory at the Quebec Homestead. We got Kira over at Homestead Dreaming. We got Rose at Roots and Refuge. I think I caught everybody there. I hope I did. And so, yeah, everybody, I really appreciate it. You know, you guys, if you are watching our videos and want to support us too, that's another great way to do it. Oh, thank you, Lloyd Anderson, by the way, for that super chat. That's awesome. Okay, Rolling Ace has a question. Love your content and you're literally living my dream. Well, thank you. I guess it's not a question, but I appreciate the shout out and props, Rolling Ace. It's very cool of you, and thank you. Have you ever used laser toys with ducks? They chase them like cats? Really? I didn't know that. Because look, guys, I have this right here, and I keep it around because my young little friend here, she loves to play with it, even though she's sleeping right now. She's got no interest in it whatsoever. But yeah, so I've got this like laser here. I'm going to bring this out tomorrow. I'm going to make a TikTok on that. Oh, who said it? Oh, shoot. It just disappeared. Rose. Oh, Rose. I thought I said you. But yes, please definitely check out Rose at Wholesome Roots too. Rose, for you guys who are not familiar, expert gardener, wizard with goats. She's just an amazing woman and very, very nice person as well. And so, yeah, if you want some good, you know, informational homesteading content, check out Wholesome Roots with Rose. How's little barn cat doing? Has she gotten used to life indoors? Yes. I mean, I'm serious, guys. How is she doing? Has she gotten used to life indoors? Oh, look at this little kitty. I'm going to make my allergies go crazy. But yes, she has very much gotten used to life indoors. She's a great indoor cat. She's doing so well right now. And I got to admit, I really love having her here. Now, all right, Nassless has another chestnuts question. What are you familiar with the blight-resistant GMO American chestnuts developed by Sunny ESF? They're under review by the U.S. I'm not sure. I haven't heard about that, but I do want to check that out. For sure. That's actually little barn cat butthole. Yeah, I will check that out. What kind of duck would you suggest for an urban setting? And yes, urban agriculture is a class in Quebec. That's awesome. So Nicole, if you have urban agriculture and I guess you have an urban setting, I guess sort of noise complaints would probably be one of your risks, I would imagine. So if that's not the case, then this might not stand. And since that's the case, what I would suggest is this. You could get Muscovies, which are probably the quietest of all the duck breeds. You know, and that would be the duck I would recommend. And yeah, that's who I would think about looking into, Muscovies. The other thing you could do, if you're not looking to have ducks for eggs, you could get like 3 or 4 drakes, and they'd be relatively quiet. And so that would be another option. So that's not a breed, but you know, you can easily get drakes for free. Lots of people like get them and don't want them, and they don't want to butcher them. And so, yeah, you could definitely consider that. Oh, Val's got Muscovies. How do you keep poultry from laying in the field once spring, summer comes around? So, Andrew, the biggest thing that I would say is you got to be very disciplined with routine, and you got to bring them inside every night and make them know where home is. You know, that's why I actually don't free range my ducks like 24/7. So the geese, I keep them locked up in the winter just to establish home base so that they know where to lay eggs. As the spring wears on and things warm up, they'll start to like actually free range 24/7, and I won't lock them up. But the chickens and ducks, I will lock up every night. That way I can kind of get them focused on knowing where home is and where they need to lay their eggs. You know what that probably was? That was probably like just give you information, right? Like, so that window looks over on the street, and so it's probably a car passing by on our quiet road. Oh, to be honest with you, Diana, not as good as it should. I've been actually so busy with work right now, like my day job, that I haven't had as much time to write. And it's admittedly sort of stressing me out and bumming me out. I really want to finish this book. I'm really excited about it. I'm really proud of it, or I will be, I guess. And so I just know I need to buckle down and do it. I just don't seem to have the time to do it. I'm working on it, but I definitely want to finish it. Hey, Richard, thank you for that. Hello, thanks for your advice last time. I bought the farm. You did. Congratulations, Richard. That's awesome. How are you managing with the cold weather? Have you researched the mini age theory? So I guess on the mini age piece, yeah, I found that kind of interesting. I ended up going down like a research rabbit hole a couple weeks ago on it, after you suggested it. And as far as the cold weather goes, it hasn't been bad. Actually, I would say that this has been a rather mild winter for us. We had a couple of good cold streaks going, but for the most part, it was not bad at all. Not a lot of snow. I mean, a modest amount of snow. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Yeah, Julie, I'm with you. It's stressing me out. Like, you know, and I don't know, maybe folks like us shouldn't beat ourselves up too much, right? Like, you know, we do the best we can. We tackle as much as we can. I know I'm doing my best. And so like, just because I'm not doing everything I want to do, I don't know. I don't think I can, you know, you can beat yourself up too much, and you shouldn't too, you know, like enjoy your spring break. Okay, Sean, how do you get ducks up a ramp? So what I have found is that the best way to do it is twofold. Number one, make sure you feed them and have water inside, at least early on when you're trying to encourage them to go up the ramp and get in there, so that there's like a reward at the end of it. The second thing is I would put some like fencing or like cattle panels or some sort of guardrails, even like plywood boards, so that like you can drive them up a chute. Like it's almost like you're herding cattle. And I've actually done videos. If you see a video that I made a while back, it's about when I moved hold on, I'm gonna just find the link versus try to describe it for you. if I can find this video, how quick I can find it. I found it. Okay, take a look at this video that I just dropped in the chat. That will show you how I've herded the ducks up into our ramp. And if you do that for a week or two, eventually they're going to figure out how to get up there themselves. Oh, you're hatching some blue Swedish? I love blue Swedish. That would be a breed I'd love to add someday to the flock. So Val, if I was raising meat birds and only raising meat birds, I would suggest going with the Emdens, and a couple reasons. Number one, with Emdens, you get a larger bird. I found that, like, you know, the harvest weight for our birds, like, you know, kind of hanging weight style, with the Emdens, it was like 12, somewhere between 12 and 9 pounds. And then with the Pilgrims, it's somewhere between 10 and 7 pounds. And so you get a bigger bird. And then because the Emdens are all white, they're easier to pluck and have it look like a cleaner carcass. Whoa, Duke, thank you. That's so generous. I really appreciate that. And yeah, you think I'll need a continuous water source for the pond. Yeah, you know, I'm actually thinking about that too. I actually put out a video about the pond next week where I'll show you kind of where it's at and like how full it is. I do think that there might be a way that I need to sort of reroute part of our stream to fill the pond as a channel. But I really appreciate that support, Duke. Thank you. Can you raise a duck or goose in an environment where it's like 30 toads and 5 or more tortoises? Possibly. And it depends if it's a tortoise or a turtle. Like, snapping turtles can kill and will kill ducks. So you might have to worry about that a little bit. The toads, no. The ducks actually end up eating the toad eggs. All right, guys, we're getting just about at time, so I'm going to wrap this up pretty soon. We're going to take a couple more questions, though. And thank you again to everybody. Release the quack pack. Yeah, well, I'm going to let everybody go very soon, Hope. If a Muscovy female suddenly becomes antisocial, not hanging out the others, you think she is hurt or sick? Maybe. She could also be trying to go broody. So, like, does she have like a clutch of eggs maybe stashed that you haven't found yet? That would be the guess I would also look into if my Muscovy was becoming antisocial and if she was a female. My partner and I own 12 acres on the water in Maine, are looking to start on ducks or geese. Any recommendations on which breed? Well, Nathaniel, I guess it kind of depends on what you want to do. If you are trying to like raise birds for eggs, I would probably lean towards the ducks. Khaki Campbells are a great option there. I'm not sure if they can be, when you say, and I guess I always think Maine, I think the ocean instantly, but that doesn't necessarily mean the case. If you're on fresh water, like I think like if I was on fresh water and I just wanted to have some waterfowl to enjoy, the breed I would go with would be Pilgrim geese. So that'll give you a oh, hey, Ken Shaw, man, you are the most generous human being in the world. Thank you. I appreciate that. How do I make my hens not be afraid of my rooster? I don't know about that. That's a tough one. I think, give it some time. I don't know if it's a new thing or they've been raised together. Hey, Luke's Bees, how's it going, buddy? Okay. So we are looking to get some new barn cats, just especially as it's now warming up. I'm actually starting to put some feelers out for a couple of cats that I could add to the mix. I also have, as like I said earlier, I built a new dog and cat shelter, and I'm really excited about it. Do you know how to stop Maremma from trying to mate? I have a female and a male. So again, so for folks who wonder, Toby's breed is a Maremma, and to stop him from mating, I don't know. Like, I don't think you can. You can only separate them, and then they're going to probably be miserable and try to connect somehow. I think you could neuter them. That would be your other option. That's probably your best option. A lot of people who do that, yeah, they won't keep intact males with lots of other females that are intact, or they'll only have an intact male and the females will get spayed. You pretty much have to do one or the other, else you're going to have like a perpetual puppy factory, which I don't think would be good for anybody. Do you think goats might be easier than cows and less money, or do you think cows will be easier? I actually think cows will be easier. So goats will be less money. It requires less money to get started with goats. It's I think less barrier to entry is lower. But I think with cattle, they're a little bit more straightforward to raise. I think the economics of raising them, especially cattle for beef, are more straightforward. Versus goat is a harder market to sell to if I'm doing them for meat. There's a lot more parasite issues you have to contend with the goats. I'm constantly afraid, and maybe like overly afraid of them being escape artists. And so kind of all of those things really do make it difficult to have goats. Yeah, Dora, that's probably true. So yeah, if you're just introducing a new rooster to your hens, they're probably like, "What the heck is up with this guy?" And yeah, I don't think that you should just give it some time. Honestly, Valerie, I don't really watch many shows in general. I have not had much time lately. The show I've been watching right now is my wife and I. So I one of my favorite shows of all time is The Wire, and so I finally convinced my wife to watch The Wire with me, and so she and I are watching that all the way through. So that's like the one show I watch right now, and we're on season 5. Then we'll probably move on to something else. She and I like to have like one show that we like maybe watch a couple times a week, and just after we both had long days, like just sort of chill out and relax. Honestly, Tranquil Breeze, at this point, I'm not planning on hatching too many more chickens. So I appreciate it very much, but I don't think I would be able to hatch them. So I'll have to pass. So I have looked at the automatic sort of like mechanisms for birds, and I got to admit, they don't really appeal to me. I kind of like going out there and working with my birds. All right, Rianu Keys is asking, thank you for the super chat, Rianu. Would you like an emu on your farm? No, thank you. I have no plans for emus. But yeah. Okay, what else have we got? Yeah, Tanner, I am crazy thankful for that. It's been amazing just how much we've grown in the last couple of years, and I really have like all of you guys out there to just thank for it. Part of why I like doing this so much is I appreciate all the support you guys do, and the fact that people are interested in our farm and watching our videos, and it means so much to me, and so it really does blow my mind. And the fact that it inspires you, that makes me feel good. So thank you for saying that, Tanner. I really appreciate it. So Buzzard, I am loving the new tractor. I found that dealing with the snow in the winter was amazing and easy. I found working on it has not been hard at all. I just did a project where I actually had to grade the ground so I could have it be level so I could put in the new dog barn. It's all awesome. I'm so happy. I can't believe I waited so long to make that decision. So guys, I apologize. I got to get wrapped up or I will never fall asleep tonight. I am always like so pumped and so wired after these things. But I hope everybody has a great night, and I will be back again next month. And next month actually is going to be a special one because probably won't be doing it from my office. And what I'm going to do is I'll be the other side of the house where I've got all the hatching going on. And I might even have a brooder full of some baby birds. So I really, I'm looking forward to doing that one. So I will see you guys soon. I also might do another special one for European folks and do it at sort of more of a European friendly hour. But I hope everybody has a great night, and I will be back really soon. New video coming out tomorrow. The new video is all about cattle, and I don't want to give it away. But it's going to be all about cattle. It'll be out like tomorrow morning sometime, and I'll see you guys then. Thanks.